Hey guys, today I want to talk about something that a lot of people overlook when they think about coming here, and it's kind of a slap of reality when something takes place where somebody needs emergency care or needs help immediately. Somebody near and dear to me, they had a child that was needed care immediately, and they went to the hospital. They tried to get the kid admitted, and they couldn't. They couldn't get him in that hospital. They couldn't give him the care that they needed. Went to another hospital. That hospital's filled. Went to another hospital. Got turned away from there. And then the other problem was also an ambulance. They needed an ambulance for the child, and it kind of got me concerned thinking about if I ever had a heart attack or a stroke, you'd be dead by the time you reach a hospital that could help you. The other thing is they want a certain amount of money at some of these hospitals, these private hospitals, to even look at you, to admit you. There's a fee that you need to have, and you need to have that on you, or have some sort of insurance card that's going to get you in there, and it's going to be like a pass to let you in there, and that's the good thing about having something like some of the insurances that are out there, like Pacific Cross. They give you a card, usually to let you in because they know that they're going to get paid. That's the key right here. It all comes down to money. It's not about making you feel better. At a lot of these hospitals, it's about money. It's a business. These private hospitals are a business. Even the big hospitals, they turn these people away around here when they're filled. And I've been to that hospital, and they are pretty filled. It takes a while to get in there sometimes, and sometimes you might be sitting on a gurney in the emergency room just getting care from people in there, and they might not see you. They might not see you because they're busy with somebody else. I had a friend of mine down south in Mindanao, and his girlfriend was asking for help. She says he's dying. And the doctor says, well, I'm busy right now. I have to deal with this right now. He's going to have to wait. Well, he died. And that's one of the unfortunate things that a lot of people don't look at when they come over here. And you have to remember that the majority of us are older. I'm in my 60s. I'm not a spring chicken. I'm lucky that, I have what health I have. And my health is not perfect. I have problems with my back, and I have some other problems too. And, all of us, when we come over here, you got high blood pressure, or you have diabetes or pre-diabetes or a back issue, or it could be any number of things that we have. But by the time you reach 60, you've got some pre-existing conditions. So your insurance is probably going to cost you more on that too. You're lucky if you come here without anything. But most of the guys that come here come with some sort of issue. Granted, most of the hospitals here are way cheaper than any American hospital would ever be. But there are drawbacks. And those drawbacks are huge. Some hospitals don't have proper things to do, like the machines for bringing people back electronically. They, put them on your chest. I forget the name of them, and I used to know what they're called, so I should know what they're called. But anyway, they don't have those. They don't have those things to revive people. They have the face mask to pump air into you. And I was watching them doing CPR one time when I was at a hospital, and they didn't put a board underneath the person, and they were doing CPR. And you have to have a board below somebody when you're doing CPR, and I do know that because I took all those classes. That's why I should know the name of that machine. I can't, just for some reason I can't remember what it is. But anyway, you know what I'm talking about. And they didn't put a board underneath this person. And I wanted to go over there and tell them, say, you got to put a board below this person to revive them. Otherwise you're not doing anything. And I saw 3 people go in that night, and all of them passed away in the emergency room. And I was like, man, that's crazy that I'm seeing this right here in one of the hospitals near here. And that was kind of like a wake up call as to what kind of care you're going to get here. Now, it might have been just that specific hospital. I'm sure De La Salle has better people, because I got to actually see De La Salle at work, and the people and the doctors there are really, really good doctors. But sometimes they get filled up over there and they turn people away. And that's really rough, because then what happens is they have to pick and choose who they're going to work on when the hospitals get too full. They'll let you sit in the emergency room and you might get some care there, but you're not really going to get the proper care that you really need. If you're older, you're having a heart attack or something like that, maybe a car accident comes in, they're going to work on that person first before they work on you, because maybe they're bleeding to death or something like that. Maybe they're younger. Maybe they figure that that person's worth saving. That's the way they're going to pick and choose in some of these cases. And you got to think about that. Now, in Manila, is it any easier? Is it any better? I kind of doubt it. Actually, right around here, there's a lot of hospitals. There's a lot of hospitals. There's a lot of places around here that you can go to. We have like 3 or 4 hospitals right down the street here, and even those were filled. And it makes one wonder that when there's an emergency here, what's going to happen to me if I have a stroke, if I have a heart attack, if something comes up, and I've been in those emergency rooms enough to know that it can be scary. It can be scary, because I remember during COVID, I went in to a hospital over here, and I was in bad shape. I had kidney stones, and anybody that knows what kidney stones are like, you're in a lot of pain. And it was during COVID, and it was a mess getting in there. They were, they were telling me I'd have to stay there for 21 days if I checked in. Fortunately, I was able to go home at the end of the day, and it was just kind of scary for me. But for a little boy that needs help, to have to go from hospital to hospital to hospital to hospital, it really makes me worry for the older guys coming over here. Because I have people coming over here that are in their late 70s and in early 80s that are coming in here. One particular person I spoke with was in his 80s. And I often wonder what would happen to one of these guys if they go in the hospital. Would they live? I try to warn people. I warn you guys, because you guys back home sometimes are lucky when it comes to hospital care. Whether you're in Canada, the United States, or some, any Western country, Australia, UK, you're way better off there for hospital care. You have benefits over there that we lose over here. Like in the United States, Medicare is not going to do us any good over here unless you have TRICARE or something like that. And even then, it all depends on the hospital you go to. Could you go to St. Luke's, in Manila? Would they take you if they're not full? Would you make it there in time because of traffic? And how close do you live to that? A lot of guys say, well, I want to go live on some nice beach down in Palawan. They don't consider the medical care out there. A lot of guys, they go to places like Sikihor or places like that, and hospital care is just not around there as much as it is in other places. And if something happens, you're probably going to die. You're probably going to die. And it's something that you really need to take into consideration. And the fact that there are good things over here in the Philippines. And I'm not trying to tell people you shouldn't come over here or anything. That's not what I'm telling you. I'm telling you, think about it before you come here and regret it later. I love the Philippines. I love my life. I love everything about over here. There's a lot of good things. There's a lot of things, downsides too, and some people are starting to talk about it a little bit more. do the downsides make it so that it's not worth coming over here? I think it's still worth coming over here for some guys. But if you have a lot of medical conditions, I don't think it's worth coming over here. You have to kind of weigh out your medical conditions and say, well, what can I live over there with this and that? How will I get treatment? And I'm lucky enough that my stuff, I can get treated over here, and I have a good doctor over here. Actually, I find doctor's care from an MD over here when you go into an office is way better than it is back home. Okay, I think. And I love my doctors that I had back home because I had good doctors, but I had a lot of friends telling me that their MD was not that great, and back home in the States. And I've had luck over here with MDs over here. My medical doctor down here at Health Med in Tracy Monteras is phenomenal. Great doctor. Has helped me a lot with a lot of different things and has made me understand things and worked with me on everything. But that doesn't mean if you go to another island like Palawan or something like that you're going to find a really good doctor. Because each doctor is different here, and some of the doctors I don't think are really fit to be doctors in some cases. I've seen dentists around here that were willing to drill teeth that had nothing wrong with them. And it was all about money. And I saw that right down the street down here, right around the corner from me. The dentist there is a horror show. I walked out of there and I went to another dentist, and the dentist says, Steve, you don't have 8 cavities. You don't have 8 cavities. And after that, I felt like going back to that lady and giving her, a piece of my mind. A lot of things here, it's all about money. A lot of things are like that. Not everything. The people here are good people. The nurses are good, hard workers. When I was in the hospital over in De La Salle with a friend of mine, I think the people over there, the doctors and everything are really good. De La Salle is a great hospital, and it's in Dasma, but they can fill up too. And I've been in there myself, and I know that I got good care there. But sometimes you can go into that hospital and they can be packed and have a lot of people there. And what are you going to do? What are you going to do? If it's packed, you go to the other hospitals, you're running around in a Grab or a cab or whatever, trying to find a place for emergency care, and they're all fully packed. They're all full. And it's getting to be an increasing problem around here. I'm hearing, because I've heard this from other people too, that somebody up in, I believe it was around Subic, had a similar problem up there. And they said they couldn't find a hospital. They ended up going down to Manila, and they went to 2 hospitals in Manila. They turned them away, so they ended up going to another hospital. I forget what hospital it was. And then they took them. And sometimes you don't have time to do that when you're having a heart attack or a stroke, or, something's really going wrong with you, and you're sick and you're not feeling well. And the other thing is, some places don't have ambulances here. You could die in a Grab or on a jeepney. It could be worse, or a tricycle, but anyway, guys, I want you to think about that. And I wanted to throw that out there today because it's really something it's a big concern for you newbies coming over here, because everybody thinks that the Philippines is this place that it's paradise. Everything's okay. Everything's gonna be golden over here. Everything's gonna be beautiful, and it is beautiful over here. But there's downsides, and I just want to make sure that people are aware of those downsides, because a lot of people are not aware of those downsides, or they're not thinking about those downsides till they get over here, and then they find out about them. Anyway, guys, God bless. Take care. I just want to throw that out there for you guys, because it is something to consider before coming here. And there are other places that are cheap, like Thailand. And there are other places in the South Pacific you can go to where there's better medical care. Is the Philippines bad? No, I think there's a lot of great hospitals here, St. Luke's. But sometimes, and I don't know how it is up there, some of these places are filled up. And as you get out to these outer islands, that's where you got to start worrying. You know, because hospital care becomes almost non-existent on some of these places. Anyway, guys, God bless. Take care. I hope you enjoyed today's show.